What is up, guys? This is Fight Squad and we're taking a look. Top 10 knockouts in UFC 2020. 2020 was a strange year for the whole world as a surge of COVID-19 was increasing day by day. UFC was no exception. The fights had to be put behind closed doors with no fans. Despite this, UFC and the fighters continued to put on the show for the fans as we witnessed some of the best knockouts from the sport during the time. Today we are taking a look back at the top 10 UFC knockouts in 2020. And before we begin, if you would like to see more MMA videos like these, please consider subscribing because it encourages massively to create more awesome videos like these. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now let's dive straight into the countdown. Number 10, Beneil Dariush vs. Drakkar Klose. Beneil Dariush won his fourth fight in a row, stopping Drakkar Klose in the second round of their lightweight bout. Klose opened the fight with some hard shots, but Dariush quickly countered with a takedown. Klose quickly recovered, but Dariush remained locked on while standing, and he took his opponent's back and stayed there until the end of the round, nearly locking in a choke. Klose attacked Dariush's legs in the second, and when he moved upstairs, he rocked the Californian. However, as Klose approached the finish line, he became reckless and was caught with a right hand that wobbled his legs. Dariush's turn came up next, and a single left hand ended things, with referee Jason Herzog stepping in at 1 minute of round 2. Number 9, Conor McGregor vs. Donald Cerrone, UFC 246. The return of the promotion's biggest star, former lightweight and featherweight champion, Conor McGregor, was featured at the UFC's first event of 2020. The Irishman was pitted against action hero Donald "Cowboy" Cerrone, and the audience braced themselves for a war for the ages. Of course, what we got was the polar opposite of a war. Cerrone was simply destroyed by the notorious one, who finished him off in 40 seconds. McGregor arrived quickly, clearly hoping to take advantage of Cerrone's reputation as a slow starter. The Irishman clinched with Cowboy and then stunned him with a series of rare shoulder strikes, glancing with a flying left hand. Cerrone's nose was severely damaged, and as a result of those shots, and McGregor smelled blood as the two separated. He nailed Cowboy with one of his favorite weapons, a left head kick, and then welted Cerrone with a series of punches. Cerrone was unable to do anything but cover up after a barrage in the ground. It was a disappointing performance from the veteran, but things couldn't have gone much better for McGregor. Number 8, Sean O'Malley vs. Eddie Wineland at UFC 250. Sean O'Malley made an immediate impression when he burst onto the scene in 2017 with a stunning knockout of Alfred Kajokian on Dana White's Contender Series, earning him a UFC contract. With the colorful saga all a gimmick, at UFC 250, he faced his toughest test yet in former WEC bantamweight champion Eddie Wineland. And this fight would go a long way toward answering that lingering question. On the night, the 26-year-old was a composed killer, flatlining the UFC veteran with a bazooka-line cross and casually walking away like it was nothing. Number 7, Tanner Boser vs. Philip Lins. Many observers expected a slow-paced fight when heavyweights Tanner Boser and Philip Lins step into the octagon of UFC. After all, in their previous UFC appearances, both men had been involved in plotting affairs that did not inspire much hope. At this event, however, Boser appeared to be a completely different fighter. The bulldozer weighed 235 pounds, 15 pounds less than his previous appearance. And despite his mullet, which made him look like a thinner Roy Nelson, the Canadian's speed was impressive. He appeared to be on a different time plane than his Brazilian opponent, and it showed by the midway point of the first round. Lins was knocked out by an overhand right to the top of the head, and from there, Boser wasted no time in dropping the Brazilian with a stunningly quick combination. The victory was sealed with a single hammer fist in the ground. It was a stunning knockout from the bulldozer that demonstrated his dramatic improvements, particularly in hand speed. Heavyweight KOs don't get much better than this in the UFC. Number 6, Holland vs. Souza. Kevin Holland, one of the year's breakout stars, not only won his 5th fight of the year against Brazilian veteran Ronald Souza at UFC 256, but he did so in a spectacular fashion. When he found himself on his back early in the fight, the rising prospect showed no fear of the former Strikeforce middleweight champion's renowned jiu-jitsu. A grounded trailblazer scrambled, swung his hips, and uncorked a lethal looping right on the card before jumping up and finishing off his folded foe in one of the most unique knockouts you'll ever see. Number 5. Calvin Kattar vs Jeremy Stephens. Calvin Kattar and Jeremy Stephens finally got to throw hands after all the delays, and it was well worth the wait, with the two featherweight contenders fighting tooth and nail until Kattar scored his second round knockout of the Lil Heathen. Stephens got off to a quick start, kicking Kattar as he stalked the New Englander. As the round progressed, Kattar began to find his range with punches to the body and head, but Stephens' leg attacks continued to land. Late in the game, Kattar trailed Stephens with the right hand, reminding the Iowan that he wasn't going anywhere. In the second round, Kattar began pounding on Stephens' leg, and both fighters quickly switched stances to stay out of each other's way. That left the two to trade punches, and Kattar's shots were finding a home on a regular basis. With 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, Stephens was thrown to the ground by a right elbow. At 2:42 of round 2, Stephens was caught on the mat by a left elbow, and referee Jason Herzog stepped in to stop the fight. Number 4. Jan Blachowicz vs Corey Anderson. Jan Blachowicz is known for his polished power, which helped him win in the light UFC weight title in 2020. He only needed one shot to knock out Corey Anderson in their UFC fight on ESPN Plus 25 main event, avenging his 2015 loss and ending Anderson's 4-fight win streak. The impressive finish sent Anderson packing to Bellator and earned Blachowicz a title shot against Dominic Reyes, which he won with another brutal knockout in September to reclaim the title vacated by John Jones. Number 3. Cody Garbrandt vs Rafael Assunção. Cody Garbrandt, the former UFC bantamweight champion, ended a 3-fight losing streak by knocking out Rafael Assunção in the second round. In the second round, Garbrandt launched a disciplined, technical attack in the first frame, with kicks to Assunção's legs serving as his main weapon as he piled up the points. Despite this, Assunção was able to get his shots in, which was an impressive feat given the speed difference between the two. The fight remained close in the second, but a flash knockdown scored by Garbrandt with a little more than a minute left seemed to guarantee him the round before No Love made sure that there would be no third frame, as a vicious right hand in the middle of an exchange ended the fight immediately at 4:59 of round 2. Number 2. Francis Ngannou vs Jairzinho Rozenstruik. UFC 249. Heavyweights in the UFC have the most punching power of any fighter on the roster. Francis Ngannou possesses the power that is even more uncommon at heavyweight, the ability to turn off an opponent's life in a matter of seconds. At UFC 249, the massive Cameroonian star unleashed that power, knocking out top-ranked contender Jairzinho Rozenstruik in just 20 seconds. Rozenstruik, a qualified kickboxer, was expected to pick apart the Predator. Unfortunately for him, he was never given a chance. As soon as the fight began, Ngannou unleashed an incredible amount of aggression, swinging haymakers at his opponent while charging forward. The Predator would not get any points for the technique. His punches were a little more than wild swings, but that is irrelevant when you have the kind of power that Ngannou does. The Cameroonian threw only 5 punches in one flurry. Only one of them landed cleanly, a left hand, but it was enough to knock Biggie Boy out. Ngannou's punches on his fallen opponent were completely unnecessary. This was a truly terrifying knockout, the kind of thing that would deter people from trying MMA. Simply put, Rozenstruik was never given a chance. Number 1. Joaquin Buckley vs Impa Kasanganay. Joaquin Buckley defeated middleweight prospect Impa Kasanganay in the second round, putting his name in the running for the knockout of the year. Buckley, predictably, was swinging for the fences, and he rocked Kasanganay early, but the North Carolina prospect cleared his head and got back to work. Buckley got a takedown just before the halfway point, resulting in a brief stay on the mat, but he was doing his best work on the feet, regularly testing his opponent's chin. Buckley kept the pressure on in the second round, and while it didn't look good when Kasanganay caught one of his kicks, the St. Louis product didn't hesitate to respond, delivering a jump-spinning back kick that ended the fight. This stoppage came at 2:03 of round 2, according to referee Kevin Satake. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon, and I will see you next time.